Yeah, the one for me is when I was about 19. I went to a rave called Mullet Over. You've ever heard of it?
Was it Mullover?
Mullet Over. It's like a big
Mullet
rave.
Over?
Mullet Over. It's like a.
Is that sort of like it was like
a big rave.
post-80s
It was a big
thing?
rave at the time, and it was on Halloween. And yeah, basically, I fucking.
Whereabouts is this then? It's
It
near
was
you,
like,
or is it
no, it was like
way out
South
into
London.
the?
So I couldn't even tell you where it was. South London somewhere, like
Right.
some
In like a
abandoned-
warehouse or something?
Yeah, something like that. And I drove up there, and I fucking drove back at like the next day, just like fucking really ridiculously stupid. Had drank and stuff, and fell asleep at the wheel, and drifted over to the other lane and crashed into another car head on, and I fucking somehow like everyone. I mean, I wrote off like 2 cars. But thank God, like someone looking down at me, no one was hurt, and obviously I got done like for drink driving and all the rest of it, and like got a lengthy ban in community service and that. But fucking was just so lucky that no one was hurt, and just that is without a doubt my biggest ever fail, and just like the biggest regret of my life. You know, like people like I always think people go, "I've got no regrets," like. Fucking, that's not, you know, there's a lot of stuff that
and they're usually not the best people who say that.
No,
I
exactly.
can tell you.
There's a lot of things I regret in my life, but I mean, probably none so more than that, because the couple that I like crashed into, a bit of an older couple, and just felt like a scumbag. For something I've never actually really like. I'll always give myself a hard time about that, right? You know what I mean? And I'll always, something that still fucking makes me, I see stuff like that in the news, it makes me just like...
Triggers you.
Yeah, exactly. Makes, you know what I mean?
So if we unpack it a little bit. So you go into the rave, you got tickets, that's all cool, and you're meeting mates there or something, or is...
No, it's driving mates? I went to like a cage fighting thing in the Brentwood Centre.
It's the most Essex.
Yeah, exactly.
So I went cage fighting then a rave.
Yeah.
But I was basically with like... I don't really talk to him anymore, but there was like my mates at the time. And one of my mates, like, we went with his uncle. His uncle is just like proper villain, you know. And
sorry, wait, he wears a cape or
what was that, mate?
the guy with the 20 moustache who plays the organ.
Yeah, he's Joaquin Phoenix. And then we ended up in like Romford.
Calls himself Doomsday.
But in this place called Brickyard, and like just surrounded by, they just like gangsters, like 19 at the time. Yeah. And it was just like, I'd had a few drinks, and there was this rave that loads of people were going to, and I called up my mate Jack, and I was like, "Look, do you want to come with me?" No one wants to come. He was like, "Yeah." It was like a fancy dress night, and we turned up. I was in like Air Max's, Ralph and Polo. He'd been to Sugar Hut in Brentwood. Do you remember what dress he was in? Like loafers and a suit jacket. We looked fucking like ridiculous.
Wait, he's wearing a suit and you're
wearing
so I'm wearing
Air Max's.
Fred Perry sort of Ralph
Ralph Lauren, and he's in like a suit.
What a pair.
We turn up, we're like, can you let us in at like 3 a.m? Anyway, we started for the next day.
So you drink drive there as well?
Yeah.
Wow. So what at that point? Do you drink? Not obviously not now, but like, did you at the time? Were you quite often drink driving, or maybe one?
Do you know what? Yeah, maybe one. I've not really done it to that extent, and I don't really know what fucking come over me that night, to be honest. And you know, just like you look back and you just think, how could I be so like stupid and like so irresponsible? And do you know what? Because for any drink drivers, and there's a lot of people who probably still do it. It's like the biggest thing, and this is what cuts me up. Is like. Fucking doesn't matter about your own life. You lose. You like put everyone's life around you at danger. Do you know what I mean?
The people in the car or in the other cars.
In the other cars, you know, and like, it's just so fucking selfish. Such a selfish thing to do. And that's what I always say to anyone, you know, like, if you do it, you're a fucking moron. You know, like, even one, just don't do it, get a fucking cab. What's like, you know, get on the train. Like, what, you know.
So you go to the rave, you're at the rave for what, a few hours or whatever?
Mate, I couldn't tell you. I just know that I stumbled out to some place in Shoreditch at like, probably like 11 in the morning next day.
11 in the
Drove back, yeah. And,
are you with your mate then, or is it just you at this point?
Lost him.
Yeah, he's there in his suit, just he's at a business interview.
I'd work the next day.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. Yeah. So you go. So start driving home. Like where did it happen with them?
So I was on like I had fucking one crash in I think somewhere like in Ilford,
Mm.
and then like drove off, went to the side of a van.
What before this? Before this?
Yeah, but on the same journey home. And then I was round the corner from my house, and I was thinking, what am I going to say to my dad? I'll be like, I suppose it on a car, and just weren't thinking straight, man.
Yeah.
Like, I can't tell you what sort of headspace I was in. I
Well,
was just like, it was almost like just a mad couple of days, you know, because I like to have a drink now, but I'm never usually that. Maybe I went through a bit of that stage, my late teens, early 20s, when I'm still trying to figure out who I am, and I'm just a bit reckless, really. And you know, like if you feel a bit shit about yourself, or there's issues there, what do? You go out and you get fucked. So maybe there was something a little bit deeper there that I was just trying to run from. I don't know, but yeah. And then then I got to Brentwood, and I was going up this Worley Hill. I fell asleep. Luckily, I fell asleep at the top of the bottom of the hill and sort of rolled up. And it happened like at the top of the hill. Lucky it took the momentum out, and you just can't like that feeling. Then I called my mum, and my mum and sister turned up. They was in like floods of tears, and it was just fucking like, you just think, what is wrong with you? Because I'm not got no one to blame but myself. I've always come from a good family. You know what I mean? I'm not. Yeah. It's just me being a fucking prick, being an idiot.
Did you get arrested? So many people do it. Though.
Yeah.
It's not just to you. And funny enough, we were talking about, we had Chloe Petz on the last episode. We were talking about how booze and getting drunk can be the culmination of a lot of things going on before that. It's not just necessarily I've had one too many. Like it's a reaction to something you might not be satisfied with.
Sure.
And especially at sort of 19, you can feel like you're invincible, but that can also
exactly that.
But that can also be because you're not caring about the consequences, because of you're not thinking, you've not got high self-esteem. You're like, I don't matter. I don't care what happens to me, whatever. And one side that feels really cool, but on another side, it can feel like, well, you're not actually caring whether you get home safe or not.
But teenage recklessness is like, it's the reason that kids talk crazy on Twitter, because they're just not thinking about consequences. You are told not to drink drive. You know this. Everyone knows that. But like, you just, as a teenager, you do
think you're invincible to some degree. And do you know what? At 19, you do think you've got all the answers. I almost want to write a joke about this, because like, it's true with everyone. You know, like when you're 18, 19, your dad goes, you think you know it all. And you go, no, I don't. But in your mind, you go, yeah, I know a bit more than you, mate. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're past
but
it.
You don't. Like, and you're fucking 18, 19. I would say up to you about, but even that, like, even up to mid-20s, like, you're still a fucking child. Like, you still got childish mentality. You don't really understand the world. Do you know what I mean?
Do you want to say your brain stops developing at 24?
But when you're 18, you can do all them things. You can drive, you can drink, you can... Do you know what I mean? And it's like, just such an immature...
Yeah, well, that's it. You do get access. And because it all comes at once, you've got all this stuff that's illegal to you when you're sort of 13, 14 and getting up. And then you just think, I can't wait till I can drive and drink. You get it all at once. You don't get it staggered. Yeah. And then suddenly you're just thinking, well, I just want to get pissed and drive myself wherever I want. And if they happen on the same night, then fuck it. It's it's my life.
So actually on the night, so after it happened, did you then get arrested at the scene?
Got arrested, got taken to Romford police station.
What was the other car? I
couldn't tell you what car it was.
What was going on? But who was it in that one? Was it just a guy? Was it
no, it's a couple, an older couple.
Right.
I think that's what made me feel, because I'm I was quite close to my grandparents. They're dead now. My nan's on her way out as well. But no, but she's fucked. But anyway,
if you don't follow Josh on Instagram, he occasionally puts his gran up there, and I love that she goes to her home where she's staying, and he captions the location as Alcatraz prison.
God, but I love her to bits. She's like I'm really like, especially those grandparents. We call them nanny. We used to call them nanny and granddad post, because my granddad was a postman.
Right.
And my granddad was like real opposites. My nan's like, they're both from like the East End. And my nan, if you look on my Instagram, she's quite similar to Catherine Tate. Like, the nan just fucking comes out with it. Just a real character that then people don't exist anymore. You know what I mean? Like, even the way she talked, just like, you don't really get people like that anymore. My granddad was quite the opposite, just really the kindest like gentleman. But I was always very close to him. And I think I could just always remember that, seeing this older couple and just thinking, that's probably someone's grandparents. Imagine how fucking annoyed them kids are And me, if someone done that to my grandparents, if I got
And
hold of
you've
them,
not got much,
you're probably going to get arrested yourself because your emotions you'd beat the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
You know, like
you've not got much time with these people left if someone takes away that
exactly.
time,
And what if that? You know, I got so fortunate that day. What if that hadn't been the case? You know, I did I just you know.
But then, so in the aftermath of it, you knew you were going to have a court date that I was assuming was set.
Yeah,
later down the line
and to like the extent of it, like and talking to the lawyer. I was like 19 at the time, and I was like, "Oh, but I'm not going to go to prison, am I?" She goes, "Look, that's a possibility."
Right.
Fucking hell.
And then I was just like, "What?" Like, I mean, you know, like you boys know me. I'm no chance, like absolutely no chance. And I'm nearly 30-year-old man now.
Yeah.
Imagine me at 19.
Yeah.
It's tough just doing stand up anyway, let alone with the
in
prison.
I mean,
Who's in tonight? All of us.
It probably would have been a maximum of 3 months. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
still
even
3
2 weeks
months.
in there,
Yeah.
I would have got fucking my ass handed to me bad.
Yeah.
You just know it would.
Yeah.
And just that feeling I've never felt.
Dread.
Dread, anxiety.
And your mum and your sister are how they?
Yeah, I can remember my dad got crying to my dad, going, "Dad, well, what if I go to prison?" He goes, "Well, you're just gonna have to fucking deal with it." And I remember usually your parents are like,
trying to reassure you.
Yeah, like no, it's gonna be all right. And my dad was like, my dad was like, "Look, you just got to fucking deal with it." And then when you hear that, you're like, oh my God. That's not what I wanted to hear.
And then he got to the court and his dad was in the opponent's box being like, send him away, knock him up. Fucking do it. I've got 19 years of evidence against this boy.
Yeah, look what I found under his bed. All these fucking crusty socks.
He's a wrong
Yeah, but...
that must have been...
So,
mate,
but do you reckon he was angry? Do you reckon that was because anger at you? Because of
my dad's he's just a realist. Like he will, he won't like figure it out. And I think the lawyer to him like, look, there's probably like no previous. He's a good kid. You can tell that. But the worst case scenario, yes, he could do. But probably, obviously.
But if you got a judge on the wrong day who didn't,
exactly, he was feeling hard. He's well within his right to have done that. He could have passed any sentence they want.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, had loads of referrals from just like people like fucking school teacher and stuff. I just like, look, he's a good kid. Yeah. He's just made a fucking really big mistake. And
so, what's your mum like? Is she worried or is she more?
Oh yeah, my mum's just like the sweetest woman, and I mean that's one of the hardest things is her picking me up, and like just fucking being in tears and just like letting down someone to that extent, you can't quite put that into words, to be honest.
There's a difference in there when your parents are angry at you, shouting or whatever, and you're like, "Oh, fucking fuck you," or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, but there's a difference when you see that in your parents' face when they're just real disappointed in what you've done.
Yeah, and like couldn't not ask for better parents. I had always had a good upbringing. Parents are still together now. Good family, really loving family. Like I said, I didn't really go without. And so I had really everything. Like no excuse. Like some people. If you commit a certain crime, there are mitigating circumstances. You think, oh no, he's not actually. I can think of a few people off the top of my head actually. I know I've gone to prison, and I think. Like, do you know what? Though? They never stood a chance because of their upbringing, where they come from, But none of those excuses, And just watching mum fucking be that upset. It's just like something that will always, will always be haunt me a little bit.
So you get to the court, and then how does that go then? So
the fucking geezer before me.
this better not be like got done for double murder. What a dickhead!
You're a fucking loser, right? When you're basically like a crowd. I think it's a. Well, I don't know what. I can't remember what it is, the Crown or Magistrate, but the base. It's lowest down court because it's not that big of a crime, and they get them in, they get them out. There's no big jury. People don't go it's basically right. Next, Josh James, and you come the guy, but then you basically watch from the fucking viewing gallery before you're about to go on your cases next or whatever.
It's like
going up in the store.
Yeah. Little set like fucking up. But this guy's killing it. Like
the bloke before me was there because he nicked a Red Bull from a Tesco in Harold Hill. He was in there in a tracksuit and he was like, she's bollocks. I'm thinking, you're a fucking loser, mate. You're a no hope loser. So he done me a favour, to be honest.
He went out.
Someone bombs.
Yeah, exactly. And
then you got there and you look like fucking Bill Burr, you know.
You can tell because you can tell the crowd are nice. They want to laugh, but that guy's just so shit. And then you're like, get me on. Everyone's coming up to you like, you were so good in that court box today, mate. You were just.
How are we all doing, people? All right. We all drinking tonight.
Yeah. But not me, Your Honour.
I went up there with a suit, was just like, but like actually I pretend just pretending that I was crying, but I was generally fucking really upset. And got obviously fine and 2-year driving ban and community service.
What did they make you do for community service?
It's just like
stand up.
Yeah.
Still doing it. Still paying it off.
Yeah.
We want you to gig.
Yeah. He's here as a part of it. He's actually got a tag on his foot. So.
I'll tell you what, there are fucking some open mic nights that they should send community service to. Once they get a bit of audience, and fuck, that is torture.
Yeah.
Some having to watch some people.
Yeah, you've got the audience for open mic for 2 years.
Yeah. Do your bit for mental health in this country. Do show support.
That's so true. Just painting fences, all that sort of shit. Picking up leaves, that sort of thing. Yeah.
How did you feel doing all that stuff? Was it?
That was fair. Yeah, it was what it was.
What did you do? Just like every weekend for?
Yeah. I didn't get too bad. Like I think it was like 100 hours or whatever. I know people that have had like 200, like that have been that to do it every Saturday for a year. Which is no, thanks.
Yeah. Wow. And so when you first got in the car again, because you drive because you gave me a lift back. No, I'm still not allowed.
Hit it out, mate.
How did that feel? Were you apprehensive about doing that? Or
one thing was trying to get insurance. Insurance is like,
oh, of course,
shit. So I got a smart car because that was the only thing I'm getting insured in, and I've driven a smart car since. I've still got a smart car. Just because like I sort of fell in love with them really. I got them because it was the only thing that I could get insured on. But now just like them little small cars, they're good for gigging because you can park anywhere.
And in London as well.
And they are, you get in them and they feel like they're a bigger car.
Yeah.
I can't really remember the experience of getting back in the car for the first time. But I've never been a bad driver. Like I don't speed. My missus actually has a go at me because I'm a very slow driver, and I was always a slow driver even before I had the crash. And I was I just made one mistake. I've always been.
Are you cautious now, especially feeling tired, like driving back on the roads and stuff?
I will definitely. I will definitely make sure because the tired thing is when that's what. Falling asleep at the wheel.
Yeah.
So it sounded like am I right in saying you haven't forgiven yourself for this?
No.
Have you?
No, without a doubt, no.
Do you think you should now? Do you think it's like?
No, I don't think so. I think there's certain things in life where you've got to.
Did you get the contact details of the couple?
Yeah, I wrote to them and I
Yeah.
just apologised. Didn't hear nothing back. Of course you wouldn't fucking if.
Said,
but I just hopefully they knew that how sorry I was.
Yeah.
you better keep your fucking mouth shut as well. You say, don't you say a word. I'll be back.
I'm back.
Exactly. Yeah.
Josh,
Just vroom, and then just left
stitches get stitches.
Yeah.
I'll write a letter to them and that. But got no response back. Don't blame them, to be honest.
Yeah, fair.
So you just think sometimes there's things in life that you've got to not just forgive yourself for. Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah. No, I just think
because it is, as you say, it's an honest mistake.
No,
it's not.
I would not. But then say it's an honest mistake. It's not. Is it really? No, fucking should know better. And it's just, you shouldn't do it. If anyone's listening, if you do it, you're an arsehole. There's no other way about it. Fucking don't do it.
Yeah, and it is like you're saying yourself, you have to carry that with you now for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
Like,
I've got lucky, to be honest. Like. How if you drive head first into another car, then someone usually dies. You know what I mean? To be honest, And the thing is, actually, drink drivers. If you kill someone drink driving, I know when I done it, the sentence was that if you kill someone like dangerous driving or careless driving, it's only like a couple of years, or something like that. Or don't know if the laws changed, but it's like, probably should be a little bit more. What's it? Like fucking harsh.
Yeah. Especially for drink driving. Like if you use drink driving,
there's just no excuse, man. No excuse.
Well, I mean, it's cool that you've
shared
that, man. I could tell. I mean, obviously, this is probably hearing your voice, but you can tell the emotions are still there, man. And really appreciate you sort of sharing that story on here. Maybe some.